Hey guys, Mason here from Southeast Texas. Today I want to talk about PAWPAW real quick and let's get into it. All right, so man, it's a very hot day. I think it's 95 or 96, heat index 104, 105, something like that. As you can see, it's a little bit windy. I'm not sure if the mic is picking all that wind up. If it is, I apologize. um, but I'm trying to I'm standing in the direction of the wind, so hopefully that'll help with the noise. So today I want to talk about PAWPAWs. I have here 5 varieties, and just like I mentioned earlier, it's 105 in heat index. So it's very hot, right? But look, they're still growing, right? This is the second year in the ground. I have not protected these guys at all. I have not provided shade or anything, right? So that one over there, that one is just planted this season and it's still growing. It's fine. It's not like it's established. When I got it, it was in a single gallon pot, nursery pot. So I don't think it's a big deal as far as like whether the plant is established or not. I do think that the variety matters, right? So like look at this one right here and look at the other two. Now the other two were planted at the same time. Look at this one right here. And this one's supposed to be Shenandoah. Is that some sort of like Native American name? This is a, no, not, this is sunflower. Where's Shenandoah? It's somewhere, we'll get to that, okay? Sunflower, it's not doing the best, right? But it's actually still growing. So we don't really, it hasn't stopped growing. But it's just, I don't know if it's weak or, I believe these nurseries, they don't have like a standard rootstock for doing all this PAWPAW propagation. So they might have planted a seed, that seed came up, it has dwarfing genetics. Maybe that's what I'm dealing with here. So it's kind of difficult to talk variety and their differences when some nurseries and propagators, they're not using a specific type of rootstock that's, that's known to perform in a certain way, right? So I don't know if it's the rootstock 100% or is it the variety that's lacking behind, right? So I'm not sure what type of egg this is, but we're gonna get rid of it because the plant's really young. I don't want to get eaten, okay? So the sunflower is not doing the best, and out of the 5 varieties I have here, but it's still growing. These new leaves right here, like I said, it feels like 90 some today. The heat index is really high, and it's windy and it's dry. So there's a lot of dry heat. The sun, the UV radiation is ridiculous today. I'm melting here talking to you, but I wanted to get out in the sun. I was just doing some irrigation. I have new plants here, and I water them every day, and they seem to be doing good. If you don't water them, they kind of get shocked and stressed, and they stop growing. They get stunted, and they go into hibernation mode. I don't want that. I want them to grow as fast as possible, as healthy as possible. Right. So this includes these guys right here. This is one of the reasons why they're continuing to grow, even though the temperatures are really high. We're in June, and these guys usually, supposedly, like if you go ahead and watch other people's videos, everybody talks the same talk, right? Oh, you need to put it in the shade, you need to do this, you need to do that. You don't need to do all that. You're putting it in the shade because you're not taking care of your trees most of the time, really. So you want to just you want to you don't want to get engaged with them as much. I'm engaged here, guys. I'm pressed, I'm pressured. This is my life. I invested a significant amount of money getting this property, staying away from the city, trying to feed my family and myself, and make something out of this life, right? So I'm heavily invested. This is not some sort of hobby for me. This is real life. It's painful to me. I'm sore all the time. I'm tired, but I'm here and I'm watching things work out in certain ways. I'm eating from certain plants. My failures are getting less and less. So things are working out. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is one of the reasons why people say these need to be in the shade is because they don't take care of them. They're not out there every day. I'm here not just every day, but I visit almost every plant at least twice a day minimum, and I look at the condition that it's going through. I look at the leaves. I look at the insect pressure. If there's any fungus around, I touch the soil. I feel if, you know, hey, how hot is the soil, right? And recently I've been plucking all this. I hand plucked every single grass plant I was able to pluck, right? So there's still a couple here and there, as you can see, but I plucked them all, and it's slightly it was a psychopathic effort because I was in the middle of I was under the sun. It's in the middle of the day. I did it anyways, but this is just what I do with it. You solarize it and I put it around the plant like that. It kind of, and I like to plump it up a little bit so it's more of a fortress around it, right? And I've been watering the plants every day. In addition to this situation here, there's more. When I planted these, I planted them with some organic matter, some compost and all that, and they have some slow release fertilizer. But this kind of situation here keeps the soil moist and it keeps it cool, right? So one of the reasons why plants, they get stunted and they go into dormancy mode is because the soil is too hot. The roots are getting barbecued. It's getting cooked. That's no good. In addition to that, sometimes the water and the moisture evaporation rate out of the plant, right, is greater than the plant's ability to absorb moisture from the ground. Okay, so this is one of the biggest reasons why plants get stunted and they don't grow as well. So in the beginning of the season, I whitewashed all of these. I painted their trunks, and just look at how much growth it picked up since the beginning of the season. See? So this is not a coincidence, okay? So that's all calculated. I feel the plants, right? I look at them every day. We're friends in some ways, you know what I mean? It's kind of, they're talking to me just by showing me signs. Like, hey, like when you look at this one, this plant is happy being on my land, right? It's very young, but it's happy. It's doing great. And when I see it, I'm motivated to continue pushing in that direction and trying to get them as established as possible, as soon as possible. But so far for this section right here, I've been hand watering, right? So this section here, the figs, that I established some irrigation. You know, I got this couple of sprinklers on each plant, but these are next. So I'm going to work on these. I'm going to give them sprinklers. I'm going to do it when it's 95 outside. I'm going to do it twice a day. I'm going to do it once in the morning and once after sunset, right? And my soil is very sandy. I'm not worried about root rot right now. Not when it's so hot, right? So even when the sun goes down, you have to understand there's so much heat in the soil. There's so much heat in the ground, okay? So don't worry about root rot at that point. If you irrigate it a little bit, if you add some water, that water is going to collide with the hot soil and it's going to evaporate. Most of it's going to evaporate, and some of it the plant's going to suck in, okay? So anyways, let's go through the varieties, and I do want to mention every single one of them is growing, and I'll show you. Not a single one stopped growing, okay? This one, let me see, where is the tag? You do have to watch for these guys. Do you see these guys? They like to eat the leaves. So if you see them, get them early. I'm not trying to lose leaves and all that. This is Shenandoah, okay? So far, this is the best variety. That's sunflower. And when I say the best variety as far as growth, I don't mean anything special by it because I haven't harvested. This one right here actually put out a single flower this season. I plucked it. It's not ready. This is KSU Benson, okay? This is Rebecca's Gold, my recent addition to here. I had NC1, but it was in a pot, and we had the snow and the freeze, and it was so young, I just couldn't take it. But I was going to have 6 varieties instead of 5. And this is the one I was telling you about. This is Susquehanna. Susquehanna. Is that Native American or something? But I heard a lot of good stuff about this. One of the problems, like I'm ordering online, I don't know if I'm getting what I'm ordering. I have to wait till I see the fruit and all that. But the leaves they're very little. for what I've seen. Is it a maturity thing? Is it the wrong variety that I got? You never know. You order stuff and you take it on faith. It has been grafted, and you know, I'm not sure if it's the right variety or not. I'm pretty sure it's common nowadays that people you know, they do anything for money, and they send you something you didn't, you know, intend to buy, just so they can push products, right? So, but this was supposed to be, when I looked it up, they said this is one of the best varieties out there. A lot of people say great things about this taste and the size of the fruit, and but yeah, yet, you know, the leaves are very small, and I question that, you know, because usually when you're talking different varieties and you're targeting a variety that produces big fruit, look at this. Okay, this is exactly almost the size of my hand. All right, and then you look at this. See what I'm saying? So I'm not sure if this is the right variety, like you know, mentioned on the tag. But 5 different varieties. Every single one is pushing out new growth. Every single one has new leaves and new branches and continuing to grow. Now, before I wrap up this video, I'm gonna take you somewhere real quick. Hang on. All right, so right here under the canopy, this big tree right here. It's a sweet gum. I don't know. But anyways, you got a little PAWPAW growing. Okay, and this one produces, but it's not in the best. You can tell, like, this plant is suffering almost from every single possible challenge here, as far as like being in the shade, no nutrients, no water, tons of competition in the ground, but yet it's still producing. Yet last year I ate some of them, and this one tasted like candy. It didn't have a whole lot of pulp to the fruit, right? But yeah, I was saying the fruit was good. The pulp wasn't as it wasn't much, but there was a lot of there's a lot of flavor to it. The seeds were large, and obviously the size of the fruit is impacted by variety and the conditions that it's going through. And look at what this poor plant is going through right now, you know. Yet it's still got, I don't know, like 10 fruit on it. It's very little, but yeah, I mean, apparently they're native to this region, and this makes me wonder, why don't people grow it more? Why don't they invest in PAWPAW? Especially, it's delicious with the availability of the varieties out there, and you got people like myself putting out videos for you, you know, showing you certain things that might concern you on a, you know, if you're on your own, you know, and you hear all these things online. You need to put them in the shade, and they're delicate, and you know, they're really not, in my opinion. So you just keep that in mind. It's like a lot of people, when they talk a certain talk, it's just because they're doing something in a certain way, and that doesn't necessarily represent reality. It just represents their aspect, their view of reality, their way of doing things, right? So if you're going to put the effort, if you're going to put it 110, then you know, you'll get rewarded, or you'll learn a really good lesson. Okay, so there's no losses here. Okay, you'll find out whether, you know, something is true or not. Okay, so in my case right here, I'm seeing something different than what people are suggesting. All right, let's move on to the next thing. All right, so here's another PAWPAW I came across when I was mowing my lawn, or mowing, you know, my weeds, I guess. I don't think there's a whole lot of lawn around in this area, but I was doing some mowing, and I came across this one right here. It has a nice, like maybe double the size of the leaves of the one that was growing on the other side of my property. And I don't know if there's two, or yeah, there's 2 of them actually. So there's one seed here and one seed here, and a bird probably sat right up there and pooped it. Okay, it pooped the seeds. And it came up right here. So it seems like there are a bunch of PAWPAWs out there in the wilderness around me, and these birds are eating them and spreading them all over the place. Okay, now, yeah. So what I'm trying to say here is that these PAWPAWs that are sitting in the shade, they don't look so well. You know, they don't have many leaves. They're not producing good sized fruit, and consider your PAWPAW positioning. I suggest putting them in the sunniest spot possible, really. And that's, for me, that was the spot where I had them. And do your part, especially in the earlier stages of their development, and water them every day, especially when we get in the 90s. If it's windy, water them, okay? Because they have non-glossy, very matte textured leaves. Usually those, they evaporate more moisture. So I'll give you an example as I'm walking towards the gate right there. Take care of them, whitewash their trunks, give them a slow release fertilizer. I use Osmocote. It's been doing really well for me. Make sure that you have a mound of mulch. I use grass because it doesn't rot like wood, you know. And you could use pine straw for an example if you don't have grass available. And make sure there's not a lot of not a whole lot of competition as far as weeds and grasses, and especially around the base of the plant. Okay, so just do those things and get the right varieties. You can get the Shenandoah for an example, the one I have over there, and get Rebecca's Gold or Susquehanna, and those seem to be doing really well out there, and people recommend getting those. So get 2 or 3 varieties and take care of them and see what happens. Now, before I go, I wanted to show you, as far as matte textured leaves, and especially the size of the leaf as well. But this is a golden trumpet, right? See, it's very matte. It's not glossy. It doesn't hold moisture. It evaporates out of the plant. And PAWPAW is heavy on the leaf production, very similar to this right here. So it likes to have that density of leaves protecting the wood. And I believe this is one of the reasons why mine has continued to put out new branches and leaves, is because I protected the wood. I whitewashed it, and I'm watering it and giving it fertilizer. So now it's got the canopy, now it's got the shade, it's got the whitewash, it's got the mulch. You know, the plant has no excuse not to new growth and continue to thrive. All right, so I hope you got something out of this video, because I'm early stage at this PAWPAW growing thing, and I need a few more years for them to come up. I believe maybe next year I might get a fruit or 2 out of the big ones that are doing really well. But year 4 and 5, that's probably when my production is going to go up. And I hope I'll be around to document all of the progress, and show you some results. And we'll sit down and eat some PAWPAWs and talk about the taste. All right, guys, have a good one.